Sacramento trying to drive in. There's Jokic, that man again. Jokic with the block shot, his second tonight. Oh! What a pass by Jokic!
Point line, found it right there.
Oh! Inside, yes! Oh, my!
Jokic just gets it off in time. It's up. Oh, it's good! Of course it goes in! Jokic from downtown!
The Joker.
What is it like to be known as the MVP?
That was funny.
Funny?
Yeah, that was fun. That
They're
was
serious, man.
Why so serious?
The fat boy. His words, not mine.
Jokic coming in, over the shoulder to Gordon!
In the first round, he
Great pass by him. Let me tell you something.
Oh, look at that pass. Look at the pass. What a play. What did we just see there?
He's redefined what it means to be a center and what a superstar athlete looks like, tilting the NBA's balance of power in the process. From a Serbian stable to the Mile High City and the NBA Summit. This is the story behind Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic was born on February 19, 1995 in Sombor, Serbia, where he grew up with his parents, two brothers, and grandmother in a two-bedroom apartment during the height of the Yugoslav wars. I remember things like sirens, bomb shelters, always turning off the lights. Jokic told Bleacher Report in 2017, "We practically lived in the dark. Even at like 9 a.m., everything was turned off." It was in that cramped home that Jokic first fell in love with basketball, playing on a toy hoop with older brothers Nemanja and Serhinia, who had to sit on the floor to play with their younger brother. Between watching YouTube highlights of legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and absorbing the passion of Serhinia and Nemanja, the latter of whom played college and minor league ball in the States, young Nikola caught the bug. Though Jokic had also developed a passion for horse racing and even finished fourth in his lone race as a teenage amateur, it became clear the hardwood was his future. Jokic made a name for himself while playing youth ball for a club in Novi Sad, earning himself a professional contract with Belgrade's Mega Basket by 17 years old. The club itself is a perfect fit in Jokic's humble story. While Mega Basket is now a well-known Serbian power, it was started by factory workers in the late 90s. In his first full pro season, Jokic averaged roughly 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. A few months before that season tipped off, the big man represented Serbia at the Under-19 World Cup, where he was scouted by an unpaid intern working for the Utah Jazz. That Jazz intern would find himself working for the Nuggets soon after. Between all that and an impressive showing at the 2014 Nike Hoop Summit, where he first teamed up with a Canadian guard named Jamal Murray, Jokic had done enough to find himself on 2014 draft boards. Still, the doughy center with an unorthodox game wasn't for everyone. As one league executive told The Athletic about seeing Jokic at the 2014 Hoop Summit, "I think there were a lot of teams that watched Jokic and just didn't like him. I thought he was really interesting. Our GM just didn't. I think a bunch of the other teams were like that. The GMs probably threw some clips up and were like, what the fuck is going on here? This guy's weird. Too slow, too unathletic, whatever." Though his agent threatened to pull him from the draft, there was enough NBA interest to keep Jokic in it. And while a Taco Bell commercial ran during the second round, Denver made its most monumental selection in franchise history.
Two things you only dreamed would come together. A delicious cheesy quesadilla wrapped around a beefy burrito.
In typical unimpressed Jokic fashion, the then 19-year-old slept through the draft and only learned he had been selected 41st overall when his agent woke him up to tell him. Jokic's response? Nice, okay. After one more year in Serbia, where he'd take home Adriatic League MVP honors in 2014-15, Jokic made the jump to the NBA. Though Jokic's rookie season in Denver may not have portended the MVP dominance that was to come, it was still quite impressive for a second-round pick. As a 20-year-old NBA freshman, Jokic averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal in less than 22 minutes. His three-point shot and defense were a work in progress, but Jokic's IQ, playmaking vision, and interior dominance had those paying attention intrigued. Jokic would garner more believers and earn the full trust of the Nuggets in his sophomore season. Sharing the frontcourt with fellow center Jusuf Nurkic made for an imperfect pairing, and though Jokic was still producing as a starter, he volunteered to come off the bench early in the 2016-17 season. It was during that time as a reserve, Jokic really began to build chemistry with Murray, whom the Nuggets had drafted 7th overall in 2016. However, with Jokic outplaying Nurkic and the team still spiraling, head coach Michael Malone made what would become a franchise-altering decision. On December 15th, 2016, a day that has come to be known as Jokmas in Denver, Malone made Jokic the Nuggets' starting center and the fulcrum of Denver's offense. Though the wins didn't pile up immediately, the results were spectacular. The Nuggets hung 132 points on Portland in a key victory, with Jokic's all-around game and one unforgettable dime the story of the night.
Trying to get the foul. Pass by Nikola Jokic!
Oh my goodness.
A one-hand slinger from the Joker.
Jokic finished the season averaging roughly 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, earning himself a runner-up finish in Most Improved Player voting. But the year ended on a sour note. After trading Nurkic to the division rival Blazers, the former Nugget helped Portland hold Denver off for the Western Conference's final playoff spot by 1 game. Jokic and the Nuggets would eventually get the last laugh, though. The big man's numbers continued to tick up in his 3rd season, and after struggling to find consistency with his range earlier in his career, Jokic became a near 40% three-point shooter. More importantly, with Jokic inching towards stardom and Murray emerging as a full-time starter, the Nuggets posted their first winning season in 5 years. Though the team ultimately fell short of the playoffs in heartbreaking fashion again, this time losing a win-or-go-home game number 82, the foundation for a brighter future in Denver was laid. Jokic then cracked the 20 points per game mark in 2018-19 while remaining a double-digit rebound guy and adding more than 7 assists. He also continued to show off his otherworldly on-court instincts.
That one is off, and Jokic is going to the Joker, is what they call him.
And that was something. This is what he did.
Rondo, yeah.
Normally players try to throw it hard off the opposing team. Jokic just handed it to.
Isn't that funny?
Handed it to Rondo. That's the first I've seen that one. That's a good one.
Jokic earned the first of his 5 straight All-Star and All-NBA selections that season. It helped that the Nuggets finally broke through as a playoff team, winning 54 games and the Northwest Division. Though 2nd-seeded Denver was pushed to 7 games by 7th-seeded San Antonio, the Nuggets prevailed for their first postseason series victory in 10 years, setting up an epic clash with old rival Portland in the 2019 West Semis. After another 7-game series, the Nuggets fell at home to Damian Lillard's Blazers, but Jokic opened plenty of eyes during his first playoff run. Most memorable of all, Jokic poured in 33 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal while playing 65 of 68 minutes in a quadruple overtime Game 3 loss to Portland. That performance was a perfect example of Jokic's misunderstood and underappreciated excellence. While everyone questioned his physique and conditioning, Jokic kept on proving it was all hogwash. Forget the peak condition a 6'11", 285-pound behemoth would have to be in to play 65 playoff minutes in one night. Jokic had missed just 20 of 342 games through his first 4 seasons. Through 8 years in the association, Jokic has suited up for more than 94% of Denver's games, and he's never missed a playoff contest. With some playoff experience under their belt, Jokic's Nuggets were ready to take the next step in 2019-20.
Jokic, put it up. He thought he got fouled. 2 remaining. He thought he got fouled. No call. Nuggets lead.
Barton out to Jokic. Jokic falling away. Good! Nikola Jokic. It's another miracle.
With Jokic's nightly heroics fueling a 46-27 record during the pandemic-interrupted season, Denver entered the playoff bubble as the Western Conference's 3rd seed. With Murray exploding and Jokic cruising, the Nuggets became the first team in NBA history to rally back from multiple 3-1 series deficits in the same postseason. After roaring back from 3-1 down against 6th-seeded Utah, the Nuggets did the same against the heavily favored Kawhi Leonard and Paul George-led Clippers. Jokic posted a 16-point, 22-rebound, 13-assist, 3-block, 2-steal triple-double in Game 7 against LA, becoming the third player in history, after Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, to record a 20-rebound playoff triple-double. The Nuggets' bubble run came to an end in the conference finals at the hands of the eventual champion Lakers, but Jokic's postseason story was only just beginning. 5 years into his career, Jokic was one of the league's best young players, a franchise-type talent that had already proven himself a perennial all-star and playoff performer. But he could sometimes be pass first to a fault, and it felt like he was leaving points on the table. That all changed in year 6, as the then 25-year-old discovered his inner bully. After averaging 17 points per game on 12 shots a night through his first 5 seasons, a more assertive Jokic averaged 26.4 points on 18 shots during the 2020-21 campaign. While suiting up for every single game for the second straight year, Jokic also averaged 10.8 rebounds and 8.3 assists while shooting nearly 61% from two-point range, 39% from deep, and 87% from the free throw line. For his efforts, Jokic took home his first of 2 straight MVP awards. When the Nuggets traded for the perfectly fitting Aaron Gordon at the 2021 trade deadline, it appeared Denver finally had a team good enough to win the whole damn thing. Unfortunately, a devastating knee injury would sideline Murray weeks later, putting the Nuggets' title dreams on ice. With Murray also sidelined for the entire 2021-22 season and Michael Porter Jr. limited to just 9 games, keeping the Nuggets afloat would require a Herculean effort. Of course, Jokic was up to the task. The big man averaged roughly 27 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and a block on 66% true shooting while suiting up for 74 of 82 games to drag Denver to 48 wins and a top 6 finish in the West. The only blemish during another otherwise spotless regular season was a 1-game suspension for hitting Markieff Morris from behind after the then Heat forward had taken a cheap shot at the MVP. In fitting Jokic fashion, the nondescript superstar received the news of his second straight MVP award after coming back from a casual ride with his horse in Sombor. In an emotional scene, Malone and other Nuggets staffers surprised their star player in his hometown to present the award. It wasn't all sunshine and lollipops though. The reason Jokic was back home when the award was announced is because his Nuggets were sent packing in a 5-game first-round series loss to the Warriors. Despite the fact the Nuggets were clear underdogs without Murray and Porter, the Joker faced harsh criticism for the way Denver bowed out in back-to-back postseasons without Murray, both of which came in his MVP years. The eventual West champion Suns frustrated Jokic and ran the Nuggets off the court in a second-round sweep in 2021.
Denver just does not have the firepower. Jokic inside, off, rebound collected by Bridges. Foul on Jokic, down goes Payne and across the face, and here we go.
Here's the foul here in the swipe.
The eventual champion Warriors then picked on Jokic's shoddy defense in 2022, handing him and the Nuggets their 8th loss in their last 9 playoff games. By the time the 2022-23 season tipped off, many had seemingly grown tired of Jokic, using his defensive shortcomings and Denver's recent postseason defeats as flimsy arguments against his bid for a 3rd straight MVP. Never mind that the honor is supposed to reflect the current regular season at hand, or the fact that between 2 Murray-less playoff runs in 2021 and 2022, Jokic averaged roughly 30 points and 12 rebounds on 61% true shooting to drag the shorthanded Nuggets as far as they could possibly go. Jokic was predictably stupendous again in 2022-23, coming within 0.2 assists per game of averaging a triple-double on 70% true shooting. With Murray and Porter back in the fold, the Nuggets coasted to 53 wins and the West's top seed. With Jokic on the court, the 2022-23 Nuggets performed like one of the greatest teams of all time. With their starting center on the bench, they played like the worst team in the league. To put that discrepancy in perspective, after Jokic's mark of plus 22.9 per 100 possessions, the season's second best team leader when it came to on-off net rating was Golden State's Draymond Green at plus 12.2. But between voter fatigue and the aforementioned criticisms of Jokic, including from his main competition in the race, the Joker found himself second in MVP balloting to Joel Embiid, who himself had finished runner-up the previous 2 seasons. But while Embiid fanned the flames, Jokic went about his business with the bigger picture in mind. And when the 2023 playoffs rolled around, he was ready, as were his Nuggets. For 2 months in the spring of 2023, Jokic treated Nuggets fans and the rest of the basketball world to some of the most brilliant basketball we've ever seen. Over a 20-game postseason run that saw Denver go 16-4, Jokic averaged 30 points, 13.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists, a steal, and a block, while shooting 57% inside the arc and 46% from deep. Along the way, he broke a 56-year-old record previously held by Wilt Chamberlain for the most triple-doubles in a single postseason. There were 14 triple-doubles recorded league-wide during the 2023 playoffs. Jokic had 10 of them. Even Jokic's once maligned defense was a sight to behold, as the big man seemed to always be in the right spot at the right time. This was an artist at the peak of his creative powers, and we were watching him construct his masterpiece in real time.
Joker ain't no joke.
You feel me? You feel me?
In leading the Nuggets to their first championship, Jokic was a unanimous selection as Finals MVP, though true to form, the pageantry barely seemed to move him.
Now you are an NBA champion, Nikola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home.
Though getting back to Sombor and his horses remained priority one, Jokic's first taste of a championship parade had him in a more celebratory mood.
You know that I told that I don't want to stay on parade, but I fucking want to stay on parade. This is the best day of the fucking life. Yeah, this is amazing. This is we all gonna remember this our whole lives, and when we see you guys that came out on the streets, and actually this one is for you. We love you, Denver. This one is for you. Thank you, guys.
If his play going forward bears any resemblance to what it's been through the first 8 years of his career, Jokic is a good bet to bring another parade to Denver at some point. At 28 years old, his list of accolades is already staggering. He's one of 10 players in history to win multiple MVPs, a championship, and a Finals MVP award. He's a 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBAer, and a 3-time All-NBA first-team selection. He ranks 6th in career triple-doubles, owns the record for highest PER ever recorded in a season, and is the only player to ever lead a single postseason in points, rebounds, and assists. Some of the greatest ballers to ever walk the earth couldn't accomplish in a career what Nikola Jokic has in 8 years. Of course, Jokic still has plenty more to offer. The Joker's not done laughing yet.
They believe in the fat boy, and it seems like it worked out. Yeah, don't bet against the fat boy.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.